getting a bit ragged at the end of that match between Japan and Qatar, but a draw, 1 point apiece there. So Vietnam, the home side, top of the table, 3 points from their first game. They must feel if they can go on to beat Qatar in their second game, that will be them through to the next round. Qatar with 1 point, they're still in with a shout. UAE are licking their wounds, no points so far. They've got Japan in match day 2. Now let's take a look at the Asian Cup record of the two teams that we're looking at tonight. Indonesia, between the years of 1956 and 64, they didn't compete in this competition. And then between 68 and 92, they competed in the qualifying tournaments, but failed to get to the final stages. 96 to 2004, they did make it to the group stages, but on no occasion did they manage to make it beyond the group stage. Let's have a look at Bahrain now. Well, similarly, between 56 and 84, Bahrain either didn't compete or they failed to qualify for the group stages. 88, yes, they made it to the group stage, but that was all, didn't get beyond that. And then the next three tournaments, 92, 96 and 2000, once again they failed to qualify. And then 2004 in China, well, they not only qualified, they made it through the group stage, they knocked out Uzbekistan in the round of 8, and they went out against Japan in the last 4. And so let's take a look back at the game played between these two sides in China last time around when they were in the same group as one another. Well, Indonesia had got off to a good start in the tournament. They got their first ever victory in the final. Here we are at the Bung Karno Stadium. It's Indonesia and they're hosting Bahrain. They've seen Thailand get a creditable draw. They've seen Vietnam get an incredible win. Now the pressure is on Indonesia to deliver the goods. And there's a good crowd in here. I'm joined by Sassi Kumar. Sassi, I think you've even played at this stadium, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I remember back in '97, the SEA Games semi-finals. We had the fortunate to play against Indonesia, and we lost in that match. But I tell you what, the atmosphere here is just electrifying, and it can be very, very intimidating.
I think the crowd, you were telling me beforehand, the crowd's very close to the pitch here. And I think on that occasion there were 120,000. They've reduced the numbers now. It's a 100,000 capacity stadium. There's the referee, Yuichi Nishimura from Japan. And I have to say, Japanese referees are usually excellent. You can see that it isn't a capacity crowd. It's very, very hot still, 33 degrees, but the humidity is quite acceptable, only 33%. And in some ways it's the humidity that really takes it out of people. It's our first look at Milan Manjala, the Czech coach for Bahrain, and probably in that part of the world just about the most experienced coach that you could find.
Absolutely, he's been around in the Gulf region for a long, long time, and he knows the sort of football they play. So that's why a lot of clubs and countries tend to go with him, because he also understands the culture and he probably gets the best out of the players as well.
Well, interestingly, both of the coaches are East European, but both know their regions extremely well. Ivan Koliev, the Bulgarian coach, looks a very spry 49, I have to say, who has been in Indonesia a long time. He's fluent in Bahasa Indonesian, has coached both the national team previously. In fact, in the last Asia Cup, he was the coach. On his way out, because Peter Wynn was going to replace him. But he's also coached in club football in Indonesia. So he knows the philosophy, he knows the ethos, he knows the players, he knows knows the pressure is up to get a result. So we're underway. Indonesia against Bahrain. And a long ball knocked forward there to JC Okuwane, the Nigerian-born striker. It's a very positive start from the men in white. Bahrain, certainly none of that slow, patient build-up that we were looking at in last night's game between Japan and Qatar. That's surely the first foul of the game.
You're right, Jamie. Just looking at the pace, it's been really fast and furious in the first 30-40 seconds of this game. But both teams have to be very careful, especially Bahrain playing in this heat. Can take a lot of energy out of you, especially in the second half. So they've got to be a little bit cautious because Indonesia will be much more acclimatized to this weather. And when it gets a bit tough, they will be the ones that be going.
Well, it's a free kick in a dangerous situation. Now, in terms of height, there is just nothing to compare on the Indonesian side with what Bahrain have to offer. They have several players who stand well over 6 feet tall. They do have an aerial advantage, and they make it tell. A little bit of wrestling going in. There's Ala Hubail, the number 30 we can see. Number 26 there is JC Okuwane, who's only naturalised at the beginning of this year, so he qualifies for the team. Go for the direct shot. No problems there for Yandri.
Why not? I'd say just test the keeper nice and early. You can see that the smile on the face of the player there, number 7, Muhammad Wadai. Just trying to catch the keeper on the front post there. The keeper for Indonesia, Yandri, and it covered all the way.
Never a bad idea to take a shot early on.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, you just want to test the keeper nice and early. You never know, he's not warmed up yet. Might just make a mistake.
Just catch him cold. Absolutely. Well, Bahrain, really, perhaps the story of the last tournament. Marvellous performance to finish fourth, given that they have no tradition in this tournament. Oh, that could be a penalty. And the referee, Yuichi Nishimura, didn't give it. My first impression there was contact, Sassi.
Yeah, absolutely. From where we are standing, and just have a look at it once again there. That's the fullback there, Abdullah Omar, just did ever so well. Just pushes the ball past the Indonesian defender, just completely takes him out. The referee, I'm afraid, got it wrong this time.
Well, I think sometimes referees are a bit reluctant to give penalties very early in the game, but I thought Abdullah Omar was very unlucky not to get the paid there. Indonesia coming forward, smashed the play wide. Early touch for Riyadi Pandamir. Nice little piece of skill coming forward, but Bahrain very strong in the challenge, and a bit too strong. Unlikely with Mr. Nishimura.
That is Buddhist. Sudarsono just trying to skip past a couple of players. The Bahraini defenders have no choice but to bring it out there. 3 white shirts against Buddhi there. Free kick in a very, very good situation. And we've seen in the past, Astaman Panyaro, the skipper, he can hit them from this distance. They're just trying to work it out between themselves there.
I thought they might have worked it out before the game started, but no really discussion over who's going to take it. And really, Ivan Kolyev will be thinking, okay, this is what we've spent hours and hours of time on the practice ground rehearsing this. The goalkeeper, a little bit of a surprise actually, it's Abdul Rahman in goal. Normally these days, it's Ali Hassan always in goal for Bahrain, but the number 2 gets the jersey, gets the start. He's a big, big goalkeeper. Yuichi Nishimura, very much involved, the referee, in the early stages. Punyaro's not going to have a go. It's Sudarsono. The crowd liked him, but really no problems for Abdul Rahman in goal.
Well, that's never going to trouble Abdul Rahman. After all that discussion and all that meeting, Jamie, that was a little bit disappointing. Straight at the keeper, that's not going to hurt him.
In fact, Abdul Rahman will be quite happy to get a nice touch on the ball there. Just get a feel on the ball and get things moving. So both sides have had a free kick in dangerous positions, neither side able to open the scoring, but a bright, breezy and entertaining start to the game. Mahmoud, the number 27 midfielder for Bahrain. That's JC, big number 26. But flat delivery there. No use to man or beast. That's Mohamed Hubail, the older brother but the lesser player of the Hubail brothers. Long range effort. Well, it was swerving nicely, but really got too much underneath that.
This is just one of the midfielders there, Mohamed Said. Good sweet left foot he's got. And the ball falls very kindly to him. It has a go from distance, but just sails way over the bar.
Forward come Bahrain again. They're certainly in the ascendancy. And Indonesia not really got their composure just yet.
Soak in attack because they've got some very, very basic strikers, Indonesia, and Ali Boy, and Bambang Pamungkas.
They certainly can't match Bahrain physically, but in terms of pace, they're in the shout. They have got players who've got goals in them. You mentioned Bambang already, and there's several players who have scored goals. Budi Sudarsono, who's made a bit of his name for himself this season in the Asian Club Championships, where he scored crucial goals against Urawa Red Diamonds, and also got the winner against Sydney FC, which actually attracted the attention of the Australian side.
Yeah, it's just not one of those players who've been linked. There are a couple of Indonesian players who've been linked to the A-League. He's one of the reserves actually. He's not playing. Iba Errol, Sydney FC has inquired about him, but the deal did not go through. But it's good to see that the Indonesian players are catching the eye of other leagues.
Certainly always good for matches if their players can play overseas. Overrun that one. It's JC Opuwane. Extracting, robust young man.
Well, it's very obvious that since Bahrain got big, very commanding forwards, the game plan will be to get down the flank and put in those crosses for JC Opuwane to attack them. So let's see if that game plan works out for them.
Certainly the plan. Abdullah Mazouk, big number 3, giant figure. He's played in Qatar, played in Saudi, as well as currently plays in Kuwait. Most of these Bahraini players actually play overseas, very frequently in Qatar, Kuwait, in Saudi, even in the UAE. They do tend to move around a lot. That's a lovely ball slipped through now. Good place. Here's a chance for JC. Good save, comfortable save from Yandri Pitoy.
That's actually Abdullah Omar. Yeah, it just gets a deep run from Abdullah Omar there. Just overlapping. Beautiful ball laid up to him. Doesn't really catch the ball really well there. Doesn't have a clean strike on it. Here we look at it once again. The ball just reaches Abdullah Omar. He's still got some pressure there. Just trying, as you can see, from the inside of the foot. Just trying to pass it into the back of the net. That's never going to trouble the Indonesian goalkeeper.
There he needed to get his toe down and drive through the ball. Now, and a decent cross to the far post, but it's well cleared in the end.
Very good play by Budi Sudarsono there on the left flank. Just gets past his marker and puts in a very, very deep cross. And we know Bambang Pamungkas, he's quite good in the air, even though he's just a tiny striker, but he's good in the air. He's got a good spring on him. And very encouraging to see Indonesia very bright from the start.
Clearing header coming from Fauzi Aish, the Moroccan-born defender. Bringing the changes here, Indonesia. No point just lumping the ball high in the middle where the big defenders can get it away. But it comes to nothing on this occasion. Good thing. Little lead through. Here's a half chance. Abdullah Mazouk getting the ball away.
Just a couple of players that just get in the way. Because there was a great opportunity for Indonesia to get into the box and put a shot in actually.
This is once again Abdullah Omar getting forward. Chips the ball to the far post, but there's nobody there. Overcooked this time. But already it's fairly obvious that Bahrain are enjoying some success when they go down the right flank. The Indonesian left flank looking a little bit vulnerable. Ivan Koliev. Gambler figure. Keeps himself in very good shape. Was at the helm last time Indonesia played in the Asia Cup finals in China 3 years ago, but already knew that Peter Wynn was going to be appointed and going to take his place, and still managed to give a good account of himself as Indonesia got their first ever victory in the final stages of the Asia Cup when they beat Qatar 2-1.
Let's not forget, JB, that Indonesia's got a very good league there, very tough league, and with different conferences there. Indonesia, usually the national coach has a huge base to choose from in terms of players for the national team. And it's also at the same time quite a challenge because they have to travel long distances to look at watch matches and actually scout for players. So whoever's in the helm of, at the helm has his work cut out for him, that's for sure.
To pick up some air miles, I would have thought, during the course of the season, that's for sure. It's a huge spread of islands, Indonesia, and some of these players do come from all over the place. From Papua, Morocco, some come from Sumatra, and there really is a tremendous amount of travelling to be done. And Ivan Koliev has done a very good job of drawing this team together. So there are people, Peter Wynn himself included, who feel that they were a bit unlucky at the last ASEAN Championship. They went down, they didn't even make the semi-finals, and that's what cost Peter Wynn his job. But they went down without ever losing a game.
Yeah, but there's huge expectation when you are the coach of Indonesia. I suppose that's quite evident in the Southeast Asian region whenever they go into a competition like the ASEAN Championship, and that's what happened to Peter Wynn. Not qualifying for the semi-finals, just not good enough.
5 Bahraini defenders back there. And we just got our first real look at Eli Aiboy playing wide on the right-hand side. There's the star man, Ala Hubail. Hasn't really been able to get on the ball so far. Since he came to prominence, Ala Hubail has had injury troubles, and here's a chance. Is that offside? The flag has stayed down. The home crowd are ecstatic. Abdullah Mazouk is mortified, and it's 1-0 to Indonesia.
Well, that's superb play by Indonesia, especially in midfield. They worked hard, got the ball back, and this man there, Budi Sudarsono, that's Papa Pamukas's Astaman Panyero, the skipper, just threads the ball through, and Budi Sudarsono, who's been lively in the first 15-20 minutes, just lost the ball going forward. A 1-0 lead for Indonesia. What a great start to Indonesia.
And what a superb goal. The skipper getting that ball to perfection. Actually, the linesman got it right. He was level with the last man. And Budi Sudarsono, who scored a couple of crucial goals in club football this season. What a great goal for him to score. And what a result we have on our hands at the moment. Indonesia 1, Bahrain 0.
Well, it still continues. All the Southeast Asian sides doing really, really well against big sides, traditionally big sides. And we've seen that what Vietnam and Thailand has to do, or what they have done, and Indonesia's turn to perform as well. Later on, we've got Malaysia who take on China. So it's big night for all the Southeast Asian sides.
Oh, that is superb from the skipper. Absolutely first class. Great quality ball. Good bit of composure. I would have to say that Abdul Rahman in goal didn't cover himself in glory. I think he took his eye off the ball slightly. And the high fives to Ivan Koliev. Well, what a year this has been for Budi Surasono. Really made a name for himself. His club Persik have done very well in the club championships. Surprised a lot of people, and that game against Urawa Red Diamonds was a fantastic one, the 3-3 draw. He scored the equaliser in that game. And now he scored for his country against Bahrain. Tempers fraying a little. That looks like the first yellow card. Goes the way of Abdullah Omar. Well, Bahrain can't afford to let any ill discipline come in. There's a long way to turn this game around.
Oh, that's a bad tackle by Abdullah Omar there. Had no chance whatsoever to win the ball. Just sliding in, just catching the Indonesian player there. Mohammad Ridwan. He's got to be careful for the rest of the game now. The last thing Bahrain need is one player down. It can be a tall order to get back in this game, especially against Indonesia, who are really powered on by a very strong home crowd.
Southeast Asian countries hosting this tournament. A suspicion that having 4 of them in the tournament rather diluted the quality, but from what we've seen so far, you have to say that they've done Southeast Asia proud.
Absolutely, Jamie. I think the gap between the bigger sites in Asia and Southeast Asian sites is getting, I would say it's decreasing every time we see that the gap is getting smaller and smaller, and hopefully, like we've seen, what Vietnam can do against a big side like UAE, and what Thailand has done against they played against one of the big sides in the Gulf area as well. So they've done relatively well, but they need to keep it going.
Well, it will need one of these sides to get through to the next round and to create a little bit of a stir there. Forward, talented wing at great speed, nice control. I think as Sassi mentioned earlier, went to Selangor, and in the first season he was up there. I think they did the treble in the M League. Did very well. Unfortunately, he got injured in his second season, and he's come back down into Indonesian soccer. Noticeable is that these Southeast Asian sides keep their shape and their discipline rather better than they perhaps used to. Very well coached. I think some of these East European coaches have done a terrific job with these clubs. We've seen Alfred Riedler in Vietnam, who's done so very well. And we see these 2 East Europeans in action.
Well, I think, Jamie, we spoke about this yesterday, and how good, especially Yugoslav coaches are when it comes to developing younger players, bringing in younger players into the national team squad. And that's what Ivan Koliev has done. He's got a good mix of young players as well as experienced players. So this is a good sign for football in this region.
Clearly shocked by that goal that they've conceded, not really able to get their rhythm going. That certainly wasn't in the script. It's good work. Attempt to knock the ball in.
Well, that looked like a foul to me initially. Good defending by Ricardo Salapisi there. You see this earlier, just stood his ground and won the ball clearly. And just look at this. Bit of shirt tugging there. surprising that the referee didn't pick that one up.
Sassy sympathies with the defender there. Personally, I could see nothing wrong with that, but we'll leave that for another day. Really, Bahrain not getting anything going. There's the older brother, Mohamed Hubail, just knocking that aimless ball forward. Really need somebody to take control. They haven't got a couple of their experienced players playing here. The number 9, Hussein Ali, and particularly Talal Yusuf, the number 13, are both on the subs bench. And these are the sort of guys who get hold of the ball in the middle of the pitch and can run the show. I just wonder if perhaps Milan Machala has taken Indonesia a little bit too lightly and got with not quite his strongest starting lineup. Maman Abdurrahman, the biggest of the defenders there for Indonesia, getting the ball away. And there's a little bit of afters, as they say. See that, Maman Abdurrahman asking for the card to be shown. Now, we see this again, Sassy, how do you read it?
Well, just two players tussling for the ball, but we have to watch this closely. We didn't see that just a little bit. I don't know.
It's a little bit of play acting there,
yeah,
to be honest.
Probably, yeah, that's right. We didn't get a good angle earlier. Maybe this one, again, just the slightest of touch. Panjara Astaman just making a meal out of that one.
He's a better player than that. It's a shame that he should do that. But he's contributed in a much better sense to the game. Now can Bahrain contribute with a cross? Ala Hubail, the number 30, is in now. JC Opunwane is in there. It's too deep for everybody though. Disappointing delivery from Rashid Al-Dossari. Milan Machala, absolutely furious.
Delivery there. All the time in the world, he just pick out, play it right there, just overhit it. That's why you can see the Czech coach is just furious with his keeper.
Machala, who's been in the Middle East now since 1994, just coached all over the place. It's like a who's who of Middle Eastern football. He's been with UAE, Saudi, Kuwait, Oman. He's been with all of the big clubs, Al Nassr, Al Ain. He's also coached domestically, the Czech League, and of course he was in charge of the Czechoslovakian, as it was then, national team between 1980 and 84.
I remember a couple of years, Jamie, when we were playing in the World Cup qualifiers against Kuwait. Milan Machala was their coach then. He had a very, very good young side as well, very strong. And that probably was the best era for Kuwaiti football.
He's had a considerable degree of success in that football as well. Just see Tina just carried off there. I think he'll be back pretty quickly. Diminutive figure in midfield, but quite waspish. They're pleased to see that Bahrain returned the ball that was deliberately knocked out of play. Good sportsmanship prevails. And it looks to me as if the Bahraini players have settled down a little bit after the shock of the goal. There were a few unpleasant incidents straight away afterwards, but they seem to have settled. They are very much the brains of the Indonesian team.
Talk that Panjara Astaman would play the S League in Singapore a couple of times when they were quite keen to sign him on, but just his wages were a little bit too high for any club to make a bid.
Well, we've just seen Firman Tina back on the pitch, getting involved in the action. Seems to be none the worse for his little knock on the head. JC misses the header. Bahrain haven't won the balls in the air that you'd expected them to win so far, and it's all credit to Indonesia. Challenge pretty hard for everything.
Well, that's a bit strange because just given the two strikers up front for Bahrain, Ala Hubail and JC Opunwane, both are big, strong centre forwards, and I'm sure the coach will be expecting them to get a few more knock-ons than the Indonesian defenders winning it. So that's the area where they are really lacking at the moment, because if they can do that, they can really extend their authority in this game.
With a handball there, but the referee not interested. Now, that's a great challenge, and saying, yeah, I agree with him. That looked like a handball to me.
Yep, that's very clear. The referee fails to pick the one up. Because this would have just allowed Fairmont to just get away from his marker.
Figure there, the number 17 we just saw was Hussein Baba. Hussein Baba, solid defender, loads of experience. Part of his Bahrain defence. Quite evident that the Indonesians have made good progress down both flanks in the first half. Mohamed Ridwan quite prepared to get forward and support.
Jamie, in my opinion, he is Ali boy. He's got a lot of pace and he's quite good on the ball as well. And when he gets into a good position, he can put in some telling crosses. So they really need to get him on the ball.
Some air shot initially from JC, who is big and strapping, but a little bit short on skill, one would have said. Decent ball in the near post, it's not defended, and what a terrible goal to give away. And just as Indonesia were going so very well, up pops Saeed Mahmoud to get the equaliser from a nothing sort of ball in, poorly defended on the near post.
That's poor defending by Indonesia, Jamie. They've been looking at themselves here and very disappointing. She started off with this, almost looked like a routine clear out there. In fact, they're losing out to the Bahraini player, but it then falls a couple of players in the box. No one clears it, and up comes Mahmoud Wadai, just tapped the ball into an empty net, almost.
Well, they won't get an easier chance than that. And just what Milan Machala wanted. The equaliser coming in about the 26th minute. And huge disappointment for Indonesia and huge encouragement for Bahrain.
I'm sure Ivan Kolev will have a thing or two to say at halftime to his charges, because that was a very, very soft goal to give away. They looked very comfortable, they looked in the driving seat. But they have given all that away now. They have got to make sure that they don't go one goal down, because teams usually, when they concede a goal, the heads go down and they lose the composure a little bit. And just look at Bahrain, very confident after that goal. Indonesia need to regroup very quickly.
Goal coming from the right-hand side for Bahrain was Mohamed Ridwan, who lost out in the challenge, and that's where the danger came from. Mohamed Ridwan, very right-footed player, but plays at left back and has been successful there. Usually strong in the tackle, good at going forward, but caught out on that occasion. Good test for Indonesia, and that won't help the issue, just given away rather too easily. And this looks like a substitution. It's Eka Ramdhani. He's preparing to come on. Commanding midfielder, quick, brave, agile, ball winner. And obviously they feel that they're losing out in the midfield, or it could be that injury to Firman Utina might be worse than we thought.
Well, you can see that Eka Ramdhani is not the biggest of the players, but I'm sure he's quick. He's got a lot of pace and passes the ball really well. It'll be interesting to see who he comes on and replaces.
Well, there's one of the mismatches. You could see JC towering over his marker. You have to feel that if the delivery is good from Rashid Al-Dosari, it must spell danger. Oh, that's well defended. Danger not cleared. And it's deflected for another corner kick. Rashid Al-Dosari wearing the captain's armband. Spelling Qatar after the last Asian Cup, when he was a regular in the first team. It's Chris Yulianto with his work cut out, the number 6 marking JC. Peters out from Bahrain. The crowd just slightly getting on the back of the Indonesians as they give the ball away.
Well, Jamie, Indonesians are looking very vulnerable on the left flank there. They really need to do something about it.
Two bites of the cherry. he had his eye on the ball there, and I think the referee called that exactly right. It was a foul, but nothing malicious. So no yellow card. So important for Indonesia to retain possession of the ball now for a little while. But Bahrain do seem to be getting at the task rather better. And obviously hugely encouraged by scoring the equaliser. Picking up a lot of the loose balls. Shooting opportunity, disappointing. Shot coming in from Rashid Al-Dossari.
That's a wild shot by Al-Dossari, the skipper.
He's done some good work. He's really caught the eye, I think, Rudi Sudarsono. There are several players that we looked out for beforehand, but he certainly looked the brightest.
Well, I have to agree with you, Jamie. He's been the brightest for Indonesia.
Decent long-range effort there. Hit the ground just in front of the goalkeeper from Mohamed Ridwan. This time no problem for Abdul Rahman. Challenge from behind. No referee's going to allow that. Another substitution. Shamsul Bakri is preparing to come on. Well, this is unusual. 2 substitutes in the first half.
Clearly, Ivan Kolev seeing some weaknesses in his team, and he wants to rectify that before they concede another goal.
Judged to have fouled there. I'm never quite sure when defenders are shooting the ball out like that.
As you can see, the mismatch in size there. Abdullah Mazuki is using his big frame to good use. But Bang Pamungkas, let's not forget, he's had stints in Europe as well. Spent some time in Holland, so he will know a thing or two about being physical.
And he's not afraid of the physical challenge, but Mazuki, Abdullah Mazuki, absolutely enormous. Shamsul Bakri, if he comes on, is a holding midfielder. So there are further changes in this midfield for Indonesia. There's one of the substitutes already on. Ramdhani, Eka Ramdhani.
Well, I just get a feeling that Ivan Kolev is trying to pack the midfield. Hopefully he can get possession of the ball. Indonesia rather get possession of the ball and pass it around, because they know they're good enough up front to get the goals. But where they're seriously lacking out is that strength and depth in midfield. This is very, very bad news. The skipper, Panyaro Astaman, the man who pulls the string in midfield, it looks as though he's just hurt, just hobbling off. For Shamsul Bakri, this is not good news for Indonesia.
This is bad news, possibly the worst news that Indonesia could get, because very much Panyaro Astaman is the man to orchestrate things for Indonesia in the middle of the park. Again, the referee gives the free kick. Ala Hubail arguing that he just challenged for the ball. Some amount of sympathy. He suggests there was a dive, but let's take a look at this one again.
Well, just some physical contact there. I think both players had the eye on the ball, so
I think fair enough, give the free kick, but nothing malicious there. As you said, eyes firmly on the ball throughout. Abdullah Mazuki hoisting the ball forward. Shaven-headed players always tend to catch the eye, but Abdullah Mazuki, the number 3 for Bahrain, seems to be in the thick of things the whole time. Very much the man to attack the ball.
it'll be interesting to see, Jamie, how they shuffle across in midfield right now, because Astaman, who's just also got injured, will leave a huge void in the heart of the midfield there. So it'll be interesting to see who sits in that role. Is it going to be Ramdhani, or is it going to be Bakri who will sit in that holding role?
I think Bakri normally plays very much as the holding role. He's been a bit out of favour with the national team for a while. Somewhat of a surprise that he got the call up for this tournament. He's out there now. So yet another corner kick for Bahrain. The corner kick count is beginning to rack up. I do feel that they're likely likely to make one of these tell at some stage. JC having his shirt tugged by Chris Yulianto. That's a good delivery, but well defended. I think it was Yulianto got his head on the ball. Great work, and that's surely offside. There were several players in offside positions. Good discipline. It was Ala Hubail called offside, but the defensive line for Indonesia moved up together, or reasonably together.
Well, there are a couple of players just straight outside. The big centre half for Bahrain, Abdullah Mazuki, one of the culprits there. But it was a great corner to start with, just drilled into the front post. Indonesia dealing with that well enough.
A long time since Indonesia really mustered anything in an attacking sense. Need to get the ball under control. Abdullah Omar. Those flashing yellow boots. Somewhat melodramatic style. Clearly a foul from Mohamed Ridwan.
Here we see Abdullah Omar just trying to get past Ridwan. Just being bundled off the ball there. Very cynical. He's not been getting any joy down there left back. Mohamed Ridwan finding it very, very hard against a very hard running Abdullah Omar. And that's how they actually conceded the goal. Ridwan failing to clear a ball, looking very routine.
So the two players in conflict there. Both have had the yellow card now. Abdullah Omar got the yellow card earlier, and now Mohamed Ridwan as well. I suspect that this young man will be up and about very shortly. He was going at pace, and so crashing to the ground's got to be painful. But Bahrain will really want to keep things moving at the moment, because things are going their way. They would love to get a second goal before half-time, going ahead. Indonesia rather losing their structure, losing their captain. Good work from Budi Sudarsono.
Well, Bambang Pamungkas just applauding the intentions of Budi Sudarsono, just outside of the foot there, just trying to put in the path of Bambang Pamungkas, who clearly has the pace to get behind his Bahrain defence.
Something that Indonesia could do with getting the ball wide. Certainly, I think Eli Iboy better used on the right-hand side. We do have Abdullah Omar ready to rejoin the action. Abdullah Omar, who actually came to prominence in the 2006 World Beach Soccer Tournament. Funnily enough, Captain is very much his domain these days. During that particular tournament, he scored 7 goals, including 3 in the final against Japan.
Yeah, Bahrain are very strong in that beach soccer department, Jamie. They've developed well. They've got a good coach. They're looking to qualify for the World Cup once again.
Yellow card this time for Eli Iboy.
Working really hard to track back Al-Dawsari, just trying to win the ball back for Indonesia.
I think both of the Indonesian players there felt that they actually won the ball, but they possibly got the ball, but after contact with the opponent. The referees, as ever in big tournaments, instructed to be very, very severe on physical contact, especially the early stages of the tournament. Tina rolling around after that challenge from the goal scorer Said Mahmoud Jalal.
Oh, as you can see, just a knee catching Utina there. But both players had no clue where the other was. You know, both were just looking at the ball. And their eye on the ball once again, just clashing into one another. Here we see Milan Manchala urging his charges to make sure that they just keep passing the ball around, because that's their style of play, Jamie. They need to pass the ball around, keep it on the deck, and that's where they will find the opening.
And it's very stop-start at the moment, a series of minor injuries. All of them, it seems to me, pretty much accidental. Both players with their eyes on the ball there. It does happen in football, it's a physical contact sport. But the rhythm of the game rather disrupted. These supporters not as happy as they were a little while ago when their team was a goal to the good, but now it's 1-1. Oh, it's a terrible mistake. Shooting opportunity there, Boy. Oh, good save from the goalkeeper, Abdul Rahman. What an opportunity.
Well, that was a huge mistake by the Bahraini defender there, just allowing Ali Boy to get behind him. But a little bit disappointing. Ali Boy, he knows he's much better than that. Doesn't get a clean shot on that one. You get a chance to look at it once again. It was a glorious opportunity. Just falls in the path of Ali Boy. He looks up. Not really too many options in the box except for Bangma Papakas. As you can see, he's just trying to hit it with the inside of the foot. Probably a bad choice to get his foot down, toes pointing downwards, and just hit it as hard as he can. Aim it to the far post. And perhaps if the keeper doesn't get a good touch on it, get another red shirt coming in to get the ball in.
Absolutely. And it was also a very nice height for the goalkeeper. If he could have kept it low, that would have been a big plus. A mistake coming from Fauzi Aish. He hasn't had the most convincing of halves, it has to be said. Whereas this fella, Abdullah Marzouki, seems to have been everywhere in the defence. Big number 3.
Well, at least that's been encouraging for Indonesia. As you can see, every time they get the ball to Ali Boy, he creates something for them. And that's what they need to do on a regular basis. Because he can be very exciting when he has the ball at his feet and running at the defence. We've seen that on many, many occasions when he plays for both club and country.
Fauzi Aish feeling that he was being penalised there for a minute, protesting his innocence, but in fact the free kick went his way. Well, as we edge towards half-time, a couple of minutes to go, there will certainly be, I would have thought, 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time. Bad time to concede a goal, of course. Tell me what's a good time, but neither side will want to give anything away, having kept it so tight during the first 45 minutes.
Absolutely, it can be disastrous if you just concede a goal just before the stroke of half-time.
Well, this could be a goal just before half-time, and it's deflected away by the keeper's feet. The chance not gone yet, and in the end, Yandri Pitoy just happy to grab the ball from the air.
A lot of hard running by JC. One in there. Now Indonesia back to the attack.
Offside, writing a flag up on the far side, and the action thick and fast in the closing stages. It's an offside the other way this time. Well, Yandri Pitoy did some good work there. First of all with his feet. This was the break.
JC open one in. A lot of hard running, just gets past, just tries to go for himself, and then the ball falls to Mohammad Abdul Rahman. Doesn't really get a good connection on that one.
Well, there's a jersey that tells a story. Abdullah Marzouki absolutely drenched in sweat now.
Well, he's been commanding. He's been a rock at the heart of the defence for Bahrain.
Well, just 2 minutes of stoppage time to be added on. And I would have thought, looking at the players there, they could do with rehydrating at half-time. I don't know if they sit in the ice as they do in Europe when they come in at half-time. I would have thought this part of the world, that would make a lot of sense, but they may not have the facilities for that.
Well, that can be quite painful, Jamie, sitting in ice.
Well, that's supposed to be the trick, get the body temperature, the core temperature down as quickly as possible. Not sure I fancy it myself, though, honest to be honest. Oh, there's a lovely ball threaded through. Good defensive work, just shepherding the ball through, and in the end, Bambang Pamkas unable to do anything with that clever pass. pass through.
Well, that's very encouraging for Indonesia because they are making some very, very good runs up front, especially Bambang Pamungkas. And he manages to find the path threaded through from midfield. And they need to do that on a regular basis because they can hurt defenses like that.
Here come Indonesia again. Ricardo Salampesi. On the far side, Budi Sarasono. They're all involved in the action still, and Indonesia finishing the half quite strongly. All just helped forward by Abdullah Omar, and it looks to me like the Bahraini players would just like to see the whistle, but here's an opportunity. Can he go all the way? It's a great little run. Oh, disappointing. Almost a toe poke in the end from Ala Hubail, who's normally so much better than that.
Very disappointing finish by Ala Hubail. Probably the star player there, but it's Chris Yulianto just not matching pace for pace. Ala Hubail just dummies in and then uses his left foot, just snaps at it. Not a real attempt, if you ask me.
They looked like a toe poke there, didn't it? Futsal style. An ugly looking attempt on goal. Oh, that's a beautiful header. Now here's the chance. It's on the right foot, the weaker foot, and didn't it look like the weaker foot?
Well, that's very, very embarrassing. That's in the space of 30 seconds. Ala Hubail gets a glorious chance to make up for it once again. Here we look at it. Ala Hubail probably a touch too heavy there, and then he tries to be a little bit cute there, just trying to catch the keeper off guard.
And that was the last of the action from the first half. The half-time whistle going. So the half-time score from the Bung Karno Stadium sees the home side Indonesia 1, Bahrain 1. We go for a break now, come back and see the highlights. Back to the Bung Karno Stadium in Jakarta. Is the goal scorer from the first half. Budi Sudarsono put Indonesia 1 goal ahead, and then the equaliser coming from the number 7, Mahmoud Jalal. Eli Iboy had a chance late on, the number 8 there, to put the home side goal further to the good. And I think number 26 there, JC Opumwane. Have you been very impressed with him so far, Sassi?
Not at all. I think he just showed some glimpses of his strength there, but not really quite an accomplished footballer when it comes to keeping the ball on the ground and showing some skills there. But obviously they're utilising his strength and his height up front. But it's not been working out for them so far.
No, I have to say that Bahrain don't look the same side that they were 3 years ago in the preceding tournament in China when they did so very, very well, including a game where they beat Indonesia 3 goals to 1. We're in the captain's armband now. Bambang Pamungkas hasn't really had a slip of goal so far, but he only needs one chance and he can convert.
He's very clinical in front of goal, JB. We've seen that on many, many instances. And hopefully tonight he can actually pull one up for Indonesia. They really need him to be on song. And probably the added responsibility of being the skipper now in the absence of Astaman probably might just urge him on a little bit more.
Only 2 goalkeepers we'll have a look at, Yandrin Pitoy and also Abdul Rahman. For Bahrain, the referee Yuichi Nishimura is ready to get the second half underway. The only Japanese referee officiating in this championship. And Indonesia with the ball, and it's out to Mohamed Ridwan. Doesn't seem to know quite what to do with it.
And that's where they've been really telling JB. The fullbacks have not been very impressive for me, in my opinion. Indonesia looked a bit accomplished in different most of the areas, but the fullback that's the area where they're really, really struggling.
Firman Utina, the diminutive number 15, has hurt Mohamed Hubail.
Nothing really there, Jamie. Hubail just making meal out of that one.
Forward come Bahrain, and corner kick given away by Mohamed Ridwan. And pressure on the the left back again. Almost everything has come down the flanks, and particularly down the right flank from Bahrain. They had 3 corner kicks in the first half. They've got their first one in the second half in just over a minute. So far, Indonesia have defended them very well. And once again, it is defended well. They're getting the first header on the ball, Indonesia, and then they are coming out in a line. Good discipline.
Very good discipline by the Indonesian defense there. Held their line really well and made sure the first defender got a hit to that one. And this is where they can be dangerous, hitting Bahrain on the counter, because they've got some pacey forwards in Bambang Pamungkas and Ali Aiboy, and even Firmautina. These are the players who should get on the ball and run at the Bahraini defense.
So there's something on the ball there, and Mohamed Ridwan taking over from him. And I have to say, Mohamed Ridwan not really having the best of halves at the moment.
Not at all. I think he's probably been the weakest link in the defense. The problem is, JB, when you play with the 4-4-2 formation, the fullbacks have to be very, very solid in terms of defending and going forward, and adding on as an extra man in midfield and also going forward. But the Indonesia have not been bright in that aspect. Maybe Ivan Kolev will be looking to change things around.
Certainly in midfield, reasonably accomplished Indonesia. They've got definitely footballers in there that can all play, and they don't seem to be getting muscled out of it at the moment from Bahrain. Koliev animated again.
Let's not forget, JB, the Indonesian unit is a very physical league. The referees are quite lenient when it comes to tackles, so these boys are quite used to robust style of play.
Good refereeing there, playing an advantage. It's a simple, little bit of obstruction there. It's Ali Arboy just knocking the ball through and being taken out as he chased after it. Say Baba brought it down.
That's what we're talking about. Just look at Ali Aiboy here, just fakes it, some quick feet there. This is what he's good at. Very good on the ball. A little bit of trickery there, just trying to get past the Bahraini defenders. And let's hope the Indonesia can make good use of this set play.
But if they just chip it up in the air, you'd think Bahrain will defend it well. Perhaps drilled across towards the goal. Yes, it is. And it's well defended. But corner kick to Indonesia.
That's a clever ball by Ali Aiboy. Just trying to find out red shirt in the front post. But Bahrain defend really well.
Just hanging the ball up there. And I think one of the defenders was taking a ride there. I think it might have been Chris Yulianto. Sudasana certainly caught the eye in the first half, and interesting that was the first time, I think, just now that we've seen Eli Aiboy over on the left-hand side. I think it would probably serve Indonesia well if they did allow him to go both sides.
A little bit quiet in the first 45 minutes. Ali Aiboy didn't really find his rhythm, but when he did, he had a glorious opportunity to score a goal. It was better second half. He started brightly. Hopefully they can get him on the ball more often and running at the Bahraini defense.
Mazuki thumps the ball up the pitch.
Been quite impressed with him, to be honest, JB. Probably one of the best defenders I've seen in the competition so far. Very tall, commanding, leads his line well, and doesn't take any prisoners.
And he always commits himself, doesn't he? He's always prepared to go and attack the first ball. Provided you've got someone who can swing behind, and that's very important. Bahrain making good progress forward there. Rashid Al-Dossari. It's a free kick. Possibly just a little too far out for the direct strike. It's a substitute, Jamsul Bakri, giving the free kick away.
Well, it's still within striking distance. Sorry, JB, it's still within striking distance. number 27 there, Abdul Rahman Mahmoud, steps over the ball.
Well, it would favour a left footer from this side if it's going to be a direct strike on goal. And that's what it is.
Well, you can see what he was trying to do, just trying to curl it past the goalkeeper there, but hits it under and puts a lot of height on that one. Never really going to trouble the Indonesian custodian.
Poor free kick in the end. Technique not great. You can see the reaction of Hussein Baba. I think he shared the opinion. Well, that looked like a tackle from behind, but in fact took the ball cleanly. The crowd disappointed, the referee got it right. Fauzi Aish coming forward. And that's a yellow card there for Ricardo Salampesi. That's 3 yellow cards now for Indonesian players. It's beginning to look a worry.
Clearly beaten Ricardo Salampesi. He's got to be careful because the Bahraini players will be pushing on. There'll be a lot of situations that he'll be faced with one-on-one situation. He's got to stay on his feet rather, not dive in, because another clumsy or a wrong challenge could easily see him get a red card and Indonesia down.
Now, not offside this time. I think they sprung the offside trap. It's Ala Hubail. Again, let's have a look. Oh, clearly well onside there, no problem, but just couldn't quite get the good touch on the ball with his head. He shows a great willingness to work. He's a bit of a star, but certainly works his passage, this fella.
Well, I also think that there's not enough communication.
Liverpool chipped through and just overhit, and that was a chance. Sudasono could have got a better touch on the ball there. It was a half chance. Great little run inside.
Needed the slightest of touches, Jamie, because Ali Boy was just advancing into the box.
But a nice open game of football. Ball bobbling around a little bit. All of the pitch is a little bit on the bumpy side. Work in the end from Hussein Baba. But good pressure from Bamba Pamukkas as well.
Well, we know he will never give up. He'll chase every lost cause and make a nuisance out of himself.
The offside flag stayed down again, and this time Andy Kutoy in goal does very, very well, acting as the supplementary sweeper. And down goes JC.
Here we see the ball just coming through to JC Openwane, and the Indonesian goalkeeper Yandri Pitoy doing well enough to get off his line, act as a sweeper, and just a little bit of afters.
It was a little bit, wasn't it, as well? Doing what keepers have to, quickly off their line. Bahrain not really created the chances that one perhaps would have expected. See the stat at the bottom there, they've committed a lot more fouls than Indonesia, but not a game that's been littered with fouls, it has to be said. Fauzi Aish getting a bit further forward in this half.
Well, it's very evident that Indonesia, they are really missing their skipper.
What a touch from Bamba there. Works a shooting chance. Well, we said he only needs a glimpse of goal. He almost had one there.
Good play by Bamba Fakultas, showing a bit of his class there. Gets the ball, run as the defense, just fakes it. That's it. Probably falls to his not so favorite left foot. But let's not forget he's quite capable with both feet. But just not finding the range yet.
His first touch on the ball was played forward to him. It was a difficult ball, just plucked it out of the air. It was quite exquisite. So encouragement once again for Ivan Koliev, the Bulgarian coach. Indonesia. This is the second successive Asian Cup that he's helmed Indonesia for. Last time around he knew his job was already done to Peter Wynn. This time he's just got a 2-year contract. So he can feel a bit more comfortable this time around. It's Bahrain on the attack. That would have been quite superb. Al again.
Weird choice there by Al-Hubail. Had the opportunity to just bring the ball down, bring it beyond. That's JC Okunwane there, just picking up his strike partner. Had the opportunity to bring it down and advance towards goal, but chose to go for the spectacular. I mean, when it pays off, it looks really good, but when you don't get it on, when you don't get it right, it looks really silly, doesn't it, Jamie?
It's a low percentage move, isn't it? Encouragement again. It's a Nabil ball forward. Oh, well read by the big man Abdullah Marzouki. How important is he to this defence?
Oh, he's been superb. He's been superb in the heart of the defence there, just mopping up everything.
This little trio, though, of Sudarsono, Eli Arboy and Bambang Pamungkas have looked very, very dangerous. And they're getting the three of them closer together in this half, knocking the ball around, and that seems to be paying dividends.
Absolutely, Jamie. I think that is the key. In the absence of Astaman Panyaro, a couple of players have stepped up and taken responsibility. That's what they need in midfield.
It's good defensive work. The two central defenders have done pretty well. Yulianto and Abdul Rahman have acquitted themselves pretty well for Indonesia. It's been at the fullback slots where they've struggled, but centrally they've been pretty competent.
You have to agree with you there, but just earlier there was one incident where Chris Yulianto went to sleep a little bit. But overall they have been quite a good pairing in the heart of the defence. Again, I have to agree with you when I say the full-back position is where they're really struggling at the moment. And if they can get that right, it'll be a very good sign.
Chris Yulianto, 1 metre 83, that's just over 6 feet, good in the air, strong. Peter Wynn put him into the team in 2004, and he's not looked back since. A little flick on at the near post, and the header coming down. And ball in there, I think. You can see what Al-Hubail thinks. Use his chest. But we can see Abdullah Marzouki. I can't understand why they don't hang the ball up there and just let Abdullah Marzouki challenge for it, really.
Yeah,
that was handball?
Well, not really, but I think the referee had a better view on that one. But again, you're right there, Jamie, when you say they need to get Abdullah Marzouki. We saw that there was a great leap, just headed the ball towards the ground. And that's the sort of players you need to get the ball on when you have a corner. It's quite strange that they don't really take advantage of that, because they have a huge advantage when it comes to physique. And they got some big players who can really, really hurt the Indonesian defence.
A little bit of afters here, coming in from Abdul Rahman Mahmoud. Just clipping his man was Ricardo Salampesi, born in Maluku, and started his football career in neighbouring Papua. Sometimes plays in the middle of the defence. Twisting and turning, and the free kick eventually given away by Abdullah Marzouki. Test his innocence.
Well, that's been the only time they've been twisted and turned by Ali Aiboy there. Very, very good work by Ali Aiboy. He knew exactly where he was going. Let's not forget, Abdullah Marzouki is a big boy.
Yellow card for Abdullah Marzouki, and the yellow card count rises. 3 for Indonesia, 2 for Bahrain. So you're going to have to watch his step from now. And really, a diminutive player like Eli Arboy can often cause problems for a tall defender. Twisting and turning. light wears on. I think as the light goes, just a bit more atmosphere. Shamsul Bakri. Oh, that's a chance. And it was Ricardo Salampesi. Good ball chipped in. Coming in from Firman Utina.
That's not bad, Jamie. Just look at that free kick there. Salampisi just climbing high enough. Great ball delivered into a very dangerous area. Salampisi not just failing to just keep it down.
Just needed to get on top of that one, but encouraging signs again for Indonesia. A bit of cramp there. Familiar treatment for cramp.
Not too sure if that really works.
I was just wondering if I know whenever I got cramp, that never seemed to do any good at all. But certainly for people who never have had cramp like that, it's an unbelievably painful sensation. Bit of a surprise after just over an hour of the game. Very hot conditions, a lot of sweating, lose a lot of salt, that can induce cramps.
Absolutely. And the humidity as well, it just saps the energy out of you. Players lose a lot of water.
Long breaking ball not forward and well defended. Abdullah Omar embarrassing himself there trying to flick the ball forward. Down the line. You see a lot of the action this half, Ali Arboy. Decent range effort, it's hit the post, plays the rebound. Indonesia 2-1 to the good, and it's the diminutive figure of Firman Utina who sends the home side and their supporters into ecstasy.
What a superb shot from distance by Firman Utina. A complete run of play there, hits it very, very sweetly, and then the ball hits the post and falls very kindly for the poster boy of Indonesian football, Bambang Pamungkas. He makes no mistakes from 5 yards out.
Just when Bahrain seemed to be in the ascendancy, and he got a hand on that. It was a save, in fact, pushing it onto the post.
That's a great shot, Jamie. Completely catching the keeper. No choice, but he gets a hand to it. But it falls to this man, Bambang Pamungkas, who reacts the quickest amongst the sea of white shirt there. Bambang Pamungkas, Ivan Kolak will be very, very pleased now.
Pamungkas doing exactly what forwards should do, always following everything in, reacting quicker than the defenders, and keeping his composure and tucking it into the net. 2-1 to the home side. Is this fairy tale start to the Asia Cup for the Southeast Asian sides going to continue? Remember, we've had Thailand with a 1-1 draw, we've had Vietnam with a remarkable 2-0 victory over the UAE. Wobbling all over the place, wasn't it?
There was a sweet strike there. As you can see, it was just swing all over the place. It makes it very hard for the goalkeepers. And it just boils down to this man getting a lot of the ball. Ali Boy has been very bright and he's been creating a lot of problems for the Bahraini defense. Was one of those situations where the ball was actually won by him.
Offside this time for Bambang. But as all forwards will do, he will feel so much better about things now he's got a goal to his name. And substitution coming in from Bahrain is, well, no surprise to see this fella come on. Talal Yusuf. Now this is a good footballer. This is very much a playmaker. 33 years of age, perhaps that's why he wasn't started. So very much a veteran these days, but a terrific talent. Plays in Kuwait now.
Just get a feeling that Milan Machala has just run out of patience. Abdullah Omar will be the man who will be making way for Talal Yusuf. So he'll be given the task to help the Bahrainis get back on track, get the all-important equalizer, and perhaps even go for the kill.
Well, Talal Yusuf is very much a playmaker. He's not going to win frequent tackles for you defensively, but he can make things happen. And that's really what Bahrain desperately need. I've been disappointed with Abdullah Omar.
Well, in all fairness, I think he did a lot of hard running, Jamie, but nothing came out of it.
What a good game Firman Coutinho has had for Indonesia. Really, with his captain going off, I think he's stepped up to the mark and played very impressive. Good user of the football. And a wonderful strike which set up the opportunity for the second goal.
It's good to see that Indonesia, they're playing as a unit, especially in midfield. They're imposing their presence there, passing the ball around, trying to look for that opening. And every time they pass the ball out to Boy, it's been looking very, very good. And that's why they're getting a lot of joy. So they need to make sure that they concentrate. It's still not over. There's a lot of time to still play for. And I think what they really need to do is retain their composure and not give it away too easily.
Well, at the moment, they're at the right end of the pitch as far as they're concerned. And panic in the Bahrain defence. Corner kick rather needlessly given away by Abdurrahman Mahmoud. Body language of the Bahraini players is not good at the moment. They don't look like a team that expects to get back into this and to win it. And the Indonesians are a credit to Ivan Koliev. Another free kick, another corner kick to be taken by Budi Sudarsono. Chris Yulianto up once again. Change of tactic this time. Interesting, change the angle. What's the delivery like? He's taken a deflection, another corner kick, and, well, Sudarsono saying calm down to everybody, but that certainly won't be a bad thing. Running down the clock, and these fans, I'm not sure they can really have expected their team to be ahead 3/4 of the way through the game. Short. Free kick given away. Not the greatest of work from Sudarsono there.
Well, Indonesia, we've got to be careful. It's too early to start playing for the win, just trying to protect the lead. They need to keep getting at Bahrain, try and get a goal and put it beyond them. Just try and preserve this lead. Dropping back in defense is not going to do them any good.
In by Mohamed Bubail. Just a fairly speculative ball knocked in. Ricardo Salampesi gets the ball away. Certainly Indonesia get their shape, get their discipline. What's the referee going to give here? Ramdani rolling around, claiming that he was elbowed in the face, I think. That one again. It's a delayed reaction there, isn't it, Sassi?
I mean, just players trying to get another one sent off. That's not a nice thing. But we've seen a lot of that in this game, Jamie.
That's the only downside I think we've seen from this. But we won't get on our high horses and preach to everybody. There's a yellow card. That's the fourth yellow card for Indonesia. One thing it does do is it breaks up the rhythm of the game.
Well, on some occasions that actually helps the team that is leading because you want to break the rhythm, you want to make sure you run down the clock a little bit, and some teams do that for professional reasons.
Rashid Al-Dosari. gets on most of the set pieces. Good ball switch wide. Now, can they get a good cross in? It's a decent enough cross, but well defended again. Indonesia really collecting the second ball. That's so important. And looking to go on the break. It's a disappointing ball out eventually. On that occasion, they couldn't find Eli Boy.
Well, to be fair, Bang Pamukas didn't have really too many options there. Just looking for people bombing forward. There were shots going forward, but chose to go with one of the fullbacks rather. Poor decision by Bang Pamukas, but it doesn't matter. He's got the goal. That matters most.
Well, now we see one of the Bahraini players. Well, this is Ala Hubail. Well, we've seen both sides doing it. I don't think we'll dwell on this, Sassi. I think everybody will be aware of our views on this. We'll see what the referee does. Difficult situation for Yuichi Nishimura. Well, that's a ball in the stomach. And then subsequently he was holding his head.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, Jamie. And he's just looking at the referee as well. Let's have a look at this one.
Wait, it's actually chested here. It's not even that painful, is it, when you get hit there, Sassi?
No, not at all. He's just trying to get another player sent off.
We'll leave it all anyway. The referee will sort it out, and Chris Yulianto saying, what did I do wrong?
Oh, that's super referee. That's super referee. I think he's just saw the situation and made a very, very good call.
Both sides are comfortable here. A little bit of play acting, and the referee is hopefully going to keep on top. Did he say it? I'm having none of it.
That's very, very good referee.
Good work from Yuichi Nishimura. And let's hope we can just get on with the football. So, it's a free kick. Bahrain, they need to get something out of this. Chip up to the far post. It's too long. The giant figure of Abdullah Marzouki couldn't get on the end of that. And Talal Yusuf fails to deliver the sort of ball that desperately Bahrain need.
Yep, substitute, just trying to find the big centre half, Abdullah Marzouki, but just overhits a little bit. Really getting into the rhythm, Jamie. They're just struggling. They're playing in patches. They've not been able to string a good number of passes to get behind the Indonesian defence.
Very much fits and starts from Bahrain, and they're in a tough group. The other two teams in this group are the Korean Republic, that's South Korea, and Saudi Arabia, who between them have won this tournament 5 times. Korea have won it twice, Saudi have won it 3 times, and so this is a tough group to be in. It'd be a disaster for Bahrain if they were to get beaten in their first fixture. Talal Yusuf on the ball, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in the penalty area. Well, I think in the earlier games, Sassi, it's been quite easy for the referee, but difficult tonight.
Very difficult. As you can see, players are jostling for positions. There's a lot to play for. The Indonesian players are not giving the Bahraini players any space whatsoever. It's going to get very interesting in the next 15 minutes, Jamie.
Well, that's nice to see. There's a good, robust challenge there, and neither of them rolled around afterwards. Good to see.
At least for once.
At least for once. We must hope that the players will keep their discipline, and it will all be about football. It's not going to serve Bahrain any good if they don't focus on playing. They just need to start playing their football. The game's far too fragmented for them. Ala Hubail certainly not made the sort of impact that he did in the last tournament held in China. That's not a goal. The referee had blown already. I think that was for offside.
Tell you what, that's not bad finish. If that was allowed in, probably one of the best goals we've seen in the competition so far. Again, probably we don't really catch it here, but I think it was just before the ball was passed. JC must have straight onto an offside position.
I think it's a handball in the end. Handball.
Yep.
Yep. Just clip that left arm on JC. And that's good work from the linesman. Certainly these games in the Asia Cup, no shortage of interest. And there was a time in the Asia Cup that there were some mismatches, huge scores, big scores. We're not seeing any of that this time around.
Absolutely, Jamie. I think, like I mentioned earlier, the gap is closer now between the teams than were the underdogs before and the traditionally big sides.
Ball just chipped forward, hoping that the big man can get on the end. Ball onside this time, helped into the area. It's off the crossbar. Well, it was a shot, not a cross in the end. It's Al-Dossari with the cross.
That was really close, Jamie, but I don't think so. Al-Dossari really meant that. A deep run from Al-Dossari, controls it, almost out of options there, just snaps at it. And tell you what, he wasn't too far away.
Just trying to help it into the danger zone, but almost getting a fluke goal out of it. Just saw Talal Yusuf on the ball, and it's certainly making a bit more sense now that the number 11 is on, number 13 is on the pitch. Talal Yusuf using the ball intelligently. We've got a further substitution, and it's the other guy that I mentioned earlier, Hussein Ali, is coming on, and I can't help feeling there might have been a mistake not having these experienced players on from the outset.
Well, it's not worked out for Milan Mancala. The players who he picked to start this game, obviously they've not done the job. They've gone down twice. They managed to pull one back, but can they do enough in the next 12 minutes to get back into this game? That's a big question.
Well, all will be answered within the next 11-12 minutes or so. At the moment, Indonesia surging forward. Ricardo Salampesi, and to be fair, both fullbacks have been willing to get forward. No short of energy from the fullbacks. Free kick this time going the way of Bahrain. Hussein Ali trying to come on. Nicknamed Pele in Bahrain. That's a bit of a burden to carry, I have to say, for anybody. Good defending. I'm not sure if it's just me, but Indonesia just beginning to look a little bit ragged at the moment. The crowd deriding that pass not square.
But this is good for Indonesia, Jamie. You know, just breaking up the play a little bit, substitution come in. They just need to take the edge off a little bit of Bahrain. Just play, because there's only 10 minutes left to go, and now probably they can start defending the lead they've got.
Yes, they can now afford to start running the clock down. Hussein Ali taking the place of Mohamed Kubaya. Rather more attacking midfielder, Hussein Ali. But at the moment, Indonesia in the ascendancy again. Broken up, but now suddenly Indonesia are the ones picking up the loose ball. Shamsul Bakri. Touch on the ball again, Bambang Pamungkas. It's not the worst cross, oh, that was a chance. And acknowledged by Budi Sidasono. And now Bahrain on the top. It's a good ball played in, but well defended, good tracking back. And Mohamed Ridwan, well, we criticised him earlier, but he did good work there eventually.
Well, this is the early effort we see. Budi Sidasono had a glorious chance there, but just scuffs at it. I'm not too sure if he actually knew about that one, because Bambang does some very good work. As you can see, he's just praying, little bit disappointed with himself.
Talal Yusuf with the delivery. Oh, and that's great defending. And that's taken a deflection off the Abdullah Marzuki. It's a goal kick.
I must add that Indonesia have dealt with the big aerial presence of a couple of the Bahrain players. They defended well at set plays. I think that's something that they must have worked on in the training ground, because that's very, very important.
It's the final throw of the dice. It's Abdullah Baba coming on. Number 12, Nigerian ball midfielder. He's an integral part of their under-23 squad, only recently broke into the full national team. And he's got just under 10 minutes to make his presence felt. Work again from Bahrain. Support was wide on the right. Bahrain again. It's a lovely ball falling through. Oh dear. Weak strike in the end from Sudarsono. Chances coming the way of Indonesia.
I hope they don't live to regret this one, Jamie, because there was another great opportunity for Budi Sudarsono to put it beyond Bahrain. Here we have a look at that very, very good play there. He was all clear, he had options, he had Ali Aiboy, he had Bambam Pamungkas to pick out, but he chose to go at it himself. Whereas if he had been a bit more composed in front of goal, he could have actually picked out one of his teammates and put them in a better position to take that all-important third goal and put it really, really beyond Bahrain.
Certainly, third goal would surely put the game beyond Bahrain. It's Abdullah Baba who's on, and really, Milan Manchala, he's used all three throws of the dice that he's got. The three substitutes are on. Long-range effort, well wide of the target. It's again Talal Yusuf, who has seen a lot of the football since he came onto the pitch. He's by instinct a leader of men.
Well, you can tell he's very experienced as well, taking the lead. You're right there, Jamie, just trying his luck from distance.
No, we don't have a man of the match, Sassi, but who would you pick as man of the match if you voted for somebody today?
I will have to pick someone from the Indonesian side, obviously. There are a couple of contenders. I'd like to, even though Budi Sudarsono has missed a couple of opportunities, but I thought he's been really, really probably the best player in the team for Indonesia. My vote is for Budi Sudarsono, and coming very close after that is it will be Bambam Pamungkas.
Certainly the two goal scorers, and we've got another substitute. Somebody is getting ready to come on for Indonesia. He's a fullback. He's got good pace going forward, but I don't think it's that part of the pitch they need him working.
Absolutely not. I think at this stage of the game, they need to bring on reliable defenders who can be composed. No real surprise there. Ali Aiboy, he's done his job, a bit quiet in the first 45, but came alive in the second half. And good day in the office if it stays this way. So he makes way for Supali, who will come on and probably shore up the defence.
Interesting to see whether he slots into the back four to turn it into a back five, or he just holds that position on the flank and defends that side.
You know, a lot of the coaches, they tend to put 5 men in defence, especially when they are leading. Not even 5 men. They tend to put a lot of players back. Make sure that they have enough bodies at the back.
Well, there's no question that they're not going for the third goal now, Indonesia. They had a corner kick and only 2 players in advanced positions. But there's less than 5 minutes of normal time to play, and the score remains Indonesia 2, Bahrain 1. At the last tournament 3 years ago in China, the score was 3-1 to Bahrain. Indonesia have only ever won 1 game in the final stages of the Asian Cup. That was a 2-1 win over Qatar. This would be the finest achievement in the Asian Cup history for Indonesia. History beckons for this team.
Well, I must say that huge advantage for these Southeast Asian sides playing at home. Big crowds as well, really urging them on.
It's chipped up on the far post. It's onside. And unfortunately, Talal Yusuf couldn't get a decent strike away.
Well, he's just shaking his head in disbelief. Probably could have done much better. The ball just comes in deep there.
Interesting, that was all three substitutes working together. Hussein Ali knocking the ball across to Abdullah Baba, and he knocked the cross up for Talal Yusuf.
Again, would have been very pretty if it had gone in.
Sudasono tries to head for the corner flag and buys time by winning the free kick. I couldn't disagree with you. I think this fella's been excellent.
He's been really, really good, Jamie. In the absence of the captain, Sudasono and Firmarutina have actually run the midfield.
Get this equaliser. Hussein Ali holding the ball up nicely. Looks a lot more composed on the ball than did Abdullah Omar. Sudasono seems incredibly fit. He's just got energy to burn here. He's worked hard throughout the game, but is still very sprightly.
And I think the key aspect of his game is he's so composed on the ball. He doesn't seem to be hurrying, and when he has the ball, he's very comfortable with the football. And he rarely gives the ball away. I think that is his strength, I must say.
Saeed Mahmoud Jalal, the scorer for Bahrain, hardly figured in the second half, the number 7. Bambang heading for the corner flag and winning the free kick. If you're his coach, that's exactly what you'd be asking him to do at the moment. Frustration for Fawzi Aish. When he tries to challenge for the ball, doesn't get the ball, gets the man, it's got to be a free kick. Approaching the end of normal time, and there won't be too much stoppage time, I suspect. Comfortable take for the goalkeeper Abdul Rahman. Wants to get the ball forward quickly.
Again, that was a poor choice by Firmarutina. This is the time that they should actually put the ball at the corner flag and run down the clock. Because what you do is just give the ball to the keeper and he gets that start. A counter-attack very quickly.
4 minutes of stoppage time. Indonesia holds its breath. Just over 4 minutes to play, and I think that was offside. The linesman had his flag up very early. Bambang came back from an offside position. And we are just through 90 minutes, 4 minutes left. And once again, the middle of the defence, Maman, Abdurrahman and Chris Yulianto won so many headers. One of the great victories for Indonesia.
This probably will be the longest 4 minutes of their lives for a lot of the Indonesian players. What they need to do is make sure that they can keep themselves relaxed, composed.
Keep their shape, keep their composure, keep their nerve, and they could well win this. Indonesia, the first Asian team ever to play in the World Cup finals. It's back in 1938, they went to France, got beaten 6-0 in the only game that they played, but they've done rather better tonight. And Ivan Koliev, what a great job he's done with this Indonesian side.
Well, if I'm not wrong, I think they were not called Indonesia back then.
Dutch East Indies, I think they were in those days. Not that I actually remember exactly before you say anything. But I think Ivan Koliev, a splendid job. Always a talented side, Indonesia, not always the best discipline, but they've been excellent in their work this evening.
Can't agree with you more, Jamie, because a couple of players that were really worked their socks off, and they thoroughly deserve this victory.
If it is a victory. There are 2.5 minutes to go now. Shamsul Bakri, the substitute, just racing to get back. And Bahrain, well, they're out of ideas, they're just going long. Some confusion there. And the referee's got to penalise that little shove.
Well, that's what they don't need. The keeper, a little bit too eager. Yandri Pitoy, when his defenders could have dealt with that, they've dealt with it all night. And what he needs to do is make sure he relaxes a little bit, keep his composure, because the defenders, especially balls. He needs to stay on his line. They cannot afford any slip up at this stage.
Well, this could be the final throw of the dice. Looks like it might be a long-range effort. It's a very long way out to be hitting this ball. Andrew Pitoy ought to be up to the task. Syed Mahmoud Jalal. Straight into the wall does its job. And the ball cleared. And I think that was a free kick gone the way of Indonesia. Oh, yellow card, slightly harsh.
Well, I think that just sums up Bahrain's night. Very poor, lacked a lot of imagination. That very experienced players, keeper there. All he could have just lumped the ball into the box, mix it up a little bit, and create chaos in the Indonesian box. But he chose to go for it himself. A little bit too ambitious, if you ask me, Jamie.
So Talal Yusuf, the third Bahraini player to get yellow carded. Indonesia got 4 players carded, but nobody in this crowd is going to worry about that because they are 40 seconds away from an historic victory.
Just
The
like
Asian Football Confederation took a bit of flack about allowing 4 Southeast Asian sides to share the hosting of this tournament. And logistically, it's been a nightmare, but so far we've had 3 of the sides play, and they've all acquitted themselves admirably.
absolutely, Jamie. And just the way the organization's gone about doing things. And the crowd, I think the crowd speaks for itself in this part of the world, especially in Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Really passionate about their football.
Well, they certainly are. Well, that's the 4 minutes.
Siji-siji.